Hey, welcome in, everybody. Yes, the music is on, which means we have to start talking. And have I said this to you before? We got a good one for you. I mean, we got a good one.
First time you've said that.
Yeah,
First time ever, isn't it?
Never said that before.
Normally, I only use that during the summer series. It's not the summer, it's the fall. The leaves are coming out of the tree, but look what fell into our studio. Ladies and gentlemen, the Director of Athletics, Vice President, WVU, Wren Baker. What we call a special? We don't go special episode, or we want to say
We're just.
I mean,
doing our
special
thing.
because Wren is joining us, but regularly scheduled episode. But we got important news to discuss.
Got a big one. That's what I'm going to say. How about this? It is a significant day in the history, fair, of WVU Athletics. We'll talk about it. Three guys brought to us by Gomart. Get that Gomart rewards card. Go to Gomart.com for details. Immediately begin saving on food and fuel. By Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. What do? They sell family fun. What's better than that? Award-winning Lou Wendell Marine. By Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way with a Tudor's Biscuit. Start your day the three guys way with a Tudor's Biscuit. Brought to us by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. Great water machines. Wren's really big into hydration. He probably got a couple of these.
Yeah.
Three guys also brought to us by Jan Dills, attorneys at law. They won't take no for an answer. And by Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. All right, let's do this thing. What's the problem? Wait a second.
I mean, Hobby's phone's already dinging. We're not even through the intro.
Was your phone on?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
He never turns it off.
I'll turn it off. Sorry.
You want me to do that?
I got it. I turned it off. I got it.
This is the
think
thing.
it's on.
See, you think you got some things like you'd like to get settled down a little bit. This is what we have to deal with.
You know, I've watched a few of you guys' other shows, and he doesn't do this to other guests, but every time I'm on here, he creates distractions with his
Disrespectful.
phone. Like last time he was squeaking his chair over there. Like, I mean,
I have to have the phone on in case Pete Thamel breaks another story.
wow.
Quoting an
Hobby's
unidentified.
coming in. Hey, one last thing, Tony. Another
shifted quickly there.
another boating season's went by, and I've not been invited on the Howe family pontoon boat.
Oh,
What
man.
happened there, dude? I thought you were
I
going to take.
don't know that I was invited on the Howe family plan.
How many times did you go this summer?
3, I think.
That ain't right.
3-ish.
That's not enough.
May take the under on that.
Yeah,
Really?
Lou Wendell not happy with you.
No.
We probably should have taken one of those pontoons to Provo and back as long as it
I
took
think
us.
you did.
Yeah.
Hoppy and I would have beat you if we would have loaded up in the pontoon. Would have beat you.
A little bit of a long night. A little bit of a long night turned into the morning. So, obviously, WVU off this weekend on the football side of things, which just perfectly falls into the announcement that came out today. We're recording on Thursday, October the 9th. And the announcement, you've been trickling this. I've been calling it a pretty steady 2-week to 2.5-week trickle. Kind of threw it out there. Yeah. Some things are going to be happening. We're going to add some scholarships. Well, you added more than scholars. You added pretty much 140 scholarships, which is game-changing, precedent-setting news in this new world that we're in. So this is all good.
Yeah, no. If you go back to the summer when I was here, we talked about how we were allocating our rev share number, and I alluded to, for us to compete long term in our Olympic sports, we were going to need to increase our scholarship allotment. To help with that, we had left our Austin allocation in place, the academic incentive awards, but it isn't truly as impactful as the scholarships. And so, fast forward, let's rewind a little bit. You guys know that pretty much ever since I've been here, we've been doing assessments and having meetings. Huron, a national consulting firm, come in, really looked at what do we need to do to compete, put ourselves in that top tier of the Big 12. You saw our board pass the resolution a few weeks ago, which was really important. And then this is another step in several steps to ensure that across our sports portfolio that we have a chance to continue to compete at a very high level.
With this announcement, where does that now put West Virginia among the other Big 12 schools in regard to scholarship offerings?
Oh, I would say it would have to be in the top 1 or 2 for sure. Now,
so it's a wow.
It's a big addition. I mean, we have about 500 roster spots in the new model. So 500 athletes. We had about 260 scholarships. So you just think of the impact of adding 140 to that. It's an over 50% increase in the number of scholarships that we have. And so very, very impactful. Different sports are impacted. Let's take basketball, for instance. Their roster number's 15. Women's basketball already had 15 scholarships. Men's basketball had 13. So wouldn't be much impact to them. In fact, I don't know that either of them had requested. Women's basketball couldn't have any more additional scholarships. I don't think men's basketball really requested additional. But you go over to baseball, who has 34 roster spots and was operating with 11.7 scholarships. There's a lot of figures and I can't recite them all, but baseball is going to go to 28 scholarships. And so massive, they'll have more than double the number of scholarships that they had the last few years, including this year. And so that's a massive increase for them and should ensure that what we've built with the momentum in baseball, sports like men and women's soccer, can continue.
Sir, go ahead. Be careful, Wren. I'm just advising you in advance, kind of as counsel. He not only has the laptop out, he's got the legal pad propped up on the laptop board, so here you go.
Well, and when Thamel beats him to a scoop, he comes with his stinger out.
Yes, he does.
You're starting from that right there. Like, it's already.
Hoppy, when did you find out today that Thamel got you again?
What time was it?
A little bit before 10, I think Pete posted.
Something like that.
What did it feel like for you when you saw that?
You don't want to waste time.
Yeah, I do. What did it feel like? Were you mad? Were you angry? Did you have a sense to call Wren? What did you?
No, I'm semi-retired. I can't fight that fight every day. I was just teasing about that. And also, here's the other thing: is that we're kind of semi-connected at the hip with these guys. So there's some things but you don't know whether you can report them.
Yeah.
Because you don't. I mean, I would have to, in order to try to report that, I would have to call Wren and say, I'm hearing this, I want to report something, and then we'd go from there. He'd either tell me or not tell me, and I didn't call you, so I get it. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Sure.
There's things that Hoppy cares more about breaking than others.
Yeah, the presidential, when they hire the new president.
But look, I think this is a couple things. I think this is really, really significant for a variety of reasons. One is you're going to 124 for the Olympic sports. I mean, you're solidifying those Olympic sports, most of them. I mean, you immediately go to the top of the tier in the Big 12 in Olympic sports, number one. Number two, football gets 16 more. So football, you got 105 is your maximum on roster and 101 scholarships.
That's right.
So you're in good shape there. The other big thing I think is it frees up revenue sharing money. I think that's huge. And I don't know what the number is and whether you want to share, but that means if you give these additional scholarships, you do not have to dilute, maybe that's the wrong term, revenue sharing money with a lot of these Olympic sports. You can use that for football and basketball. So correct me if I'm wrong. This also frees up revenue sharing money for the money-making sports.
Yeah, I would
agree
somewhat, but I'd probably phrase that a little different. So if we go back to last summer, the cap was $20.5 million.
Right.
We did $2 million of Austin money, so we rev shared $18.5 million. We budgeted and rev shared $20.5 million, but in terms of just rev share payments, $18.5. Settlement says Austin counts, new scholarships counts. What we did is we're sunsetting Austin, which was the academic incentive award that you were approved to be able to do last year, and we're replacing that with scholarship. So that means that you'll have a $2.5 million debit against that $20.5 million rev share, but that number is going to grow by about $800,000.
Right, because it grows 4% a year.
That's right. That's right. And so, and the reality is, of the money that you're actually rev share, the vast majority of it's going to football, men's basketball. Baseball has some. Women's basketball has some, and then volleyball, men and women's soccer get a smaller, more negligible amount. But the vast majority is going to those two sports. So what this does is it gives all of the rest of those sports what they need to compete in this modern world, and now you can focus really on two things. One is making sure that your revenue sports have the rev share that they need to be competitive, And then 2, making sure that you're putting a lot of effort and attention into helping identify and grow real NIL deals with businesses across the region and state to get real above the cap NIL money to help extend that. Because that, and so for people at home that own a business and they love the Mountaineers and they want them to do well, anytime that you can do a sponsorship deal with one of our student athletes, you are in effect helping us extend that overall pie that can be shared, because whether the money is coming from us or from a business, what the student athlete cares about is, hey, what's my take home for the year, and so that's really what this does is it shores up our Olympic sports programs, puts them in a place where they can compete in the Big 12 and nationally, and allows us to focus on the next part of the plan, which is to make sure that we're growing revenues to cover the revenue that we're sharing, but we are going to share the full amount, and then to identify above the cap NIL deals.
But it does probably quiet those Olympic sports in terms of where's our share of the revenue share.
Fair? Yeah, I think that's fair because, previously what some of them would have said is because some schools had added scholarships. Ohio State was one that added over 100 scholarships for this past year. And so a lot of SEC schools had added scholarships for baseball in particular. And so, they were trying to take a little Austin and extra rev share and trying to piece together. And we've said, hey, for a lot of them, they might be trying to get some money in the pocket of 2 or 3 players, but they're really just trying to get everybody to where they've got their full cost of attendance covered. And so we've taken that worry, that concern, that headache off their plate and allow them to focus on other goals.
Along those lines, I would think from a leadership and an internal PR perspective, because football and basketball get the majority of the discussion, but you're still running a department with 18 different sports, and you want those sports to be good, and you want those coaches to feel like they have a shot to be competitive. I would think internal PR for those particular Olympic coaches, baseball in particular is one, they have to be thrilled with this in an era when we spend so much time talking about football and men's basketball and NIL type stuff.
Yeah, I in the spring will take the opportunity to visit one-on-one in a more formal setting with all of our head coaches. And I told our senior staff at one point, it's the most miserable 3 or 4 weeks of my life because those coaches, they're highly competitive, and you want that in them. I always try to remind our senior leadership team when there's frustrations with the unquenchable thirst of coaches wanting more, I always say you'd rather pull the reins on a thoroughbred than have to kick a donkey in the butt, right? Like
solid point.
And so I try to tell myself that when we're going through those, but they all want to zoom to the outlier. Well, this program has X. How am I supposed to compete? This program has Y. And they're I won't say it's universally this is true, but this move for the majority of our Olympic sports programs puts us in a place where we should be able to compete at a very high level nationally. And so, that from an athletic director standpoint, to know that, hey, we've got that taken care of. Now we can focus on these other things, is very helpful.
Financially, how do y'all get this done?
Well, we were planning on starting our own podcast to compete with 3 guys. We're going to do 4
solid
guys.
move. I'll tell you what,
anybody that would watch 3 guys, I think
4 would probably take it over.
Yeah,
absolutely.
A variety of ways. The Hope Coliseum naming. I think I alluded to that helps us do things like be at the full rev share and add scholarships. We have announced some changes in some of our giving structure. We announced we're going to a per seat in basketball, for instance. We're continuing to try and chase down additional revenue streams. We're continuing to hone in and get focused on and are advancing in our plans to increase our premium seating. But a big part of this is we sat down with campus, collectively said, how can we make this work? And for the universe of athletes, it's likely that we're going to now be paying an in-state tuition rate. So we'll still pay for what we're for the scholarships, but we're getting that in-state rate and having to instead of having to pay out of state, and that's significant savings. And so we will be able to take those savings and then apply those towards these new scholarships.
So that's huge.
Significant.
Yeah.
That's
huge.
a decades-long ask or discussion point that's been out there that finally gets done. That's a huge change.
That goes
That's
all the way
decades-long.
back
Yeah.
to Neil Bucklew when he was
Yes, it
president. He's the
does.
one that took away the tuition waivers.
You know, and I'll give a ton of credit to our board of governors, President Benson, and then the university's leadership team, my colleagues on his cabinet. I think 3 or 4 things are very much true. One, everybody wants and feels like the university needs for athletics to be successful. 2, everybody feels strongly that it's important that that's not just 1 or 2 sports, but that we try to provide a quality experience and an opportunity to be competitive for our full portfolio of sports. And 3, you know, we're not asking to get these spots for nothing. We are willing to pay. We're just asking that they be the in-state rate. And when you're coming from a state with a lower population, inherently you don't produce near as many blue chip Division I power conference level athletes, and so that out-of-state rate affects us much more than it would an institution in Texas who's going to have a big percentage of their athletes from right there in state.
So I'm trying to do the math in my head, which is dangerous. But so when you have scholarships for 260, majority of those are out of state. So you're reimbursing the university for out-of-state tuition. So now you're going to 400. You're adding 140, and everybody's going to be on in-state tuition. So is the bottom line you're actually going to be paying less? Or just a little more? You know what I'm saying,
yeah.
right? The total cost.
Yeah, I would say the cost to us is probably going to be similar, if not slightly more. But the university, whether it was through us paying out of state, the students who were walk-ons previously paying in-state or out of state, that revenue was coming in from somewhere. So they're capturing that revenue bucket from somewhere in an effort to help us pay this.
So the university, the academic side, let's say, or downtown. Downtown.
Good
right?
Downtown. Way to get downtown.
I don't use that downtown reference.
Downtown, yeah.
One university.
But they are. But then that makes them really more of a partner in what you're doing.
No question. I mean, our board of governors and President Benson and the rest of his team have been tremendous partners and supportive. And this isn't like you all have to do this or here's what we need. This is sitting down collectively and saying, what can we do to help, knowing that it is a goal for the university to ensure athletics is successful, to move into that top tier of funding. And this is a big piece of it. It's not the only piece, but an important piece. And so it really was everybody coming together and saying what's the best way to do this. And I think getting that in-state rate for the University of Athletes is probably more palatable than leaving the system the way it was and getting a cash transfer on the other end.
Absolutely, no
it feels
question.
different.
Yeah.
That people can understand an internal discount rate for something that's as important to the university's brand and marketing as athletics is.
I'm going to ask you an impossible question to answer, but maybe speculate a little bit. You've come off the starting line really quickly here. You mentioned you're one of the leaders here, certainly in this conference and across the country in doing this. Any thought or can you foresee how long you keep that lead, being in a copycat business that others are going to look around and say, hey, look what West Virginia's doing?
It's a tough question. Not as impossible as when my wife tries on 2 different outfits and asks which one I like best.
You look beautiful in both of them, dear.
Yeah.
Either one's great.
It's really difficult to decide which one of those are both best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I suspect that most people were in the same boat we were. They were trying to figure out for their revenue sports how to get the majority of the rev share funded first. Some added scholarships last year. I can remember Ohio State added a bunch of scholarships, for instance. But I do think I would bet you that every baseball coach in the conference is probably setting up a meeting with their AD right now to talk about it. So probably like anytime somebody does something, it's going to put pressure on other people in the conference to do the same. Now some added a more negligible number of scholarships this year. You know, like we were one of the few that didn't add any scholarships this past year. But we were also one of the few that left Austin. So I kept reminding our coaches, well, you have that Austin, and there's a scholarship value that is to that. It extends your scholarship budget. But there's definitely, I would say it'll be an advantage for 2, 3, 4 years, but people will start making progress towards that because no one's going to sit there and let you. Kevin White, the former AD at Duke, who's on the Huron team, the line he uses when he's presenting is, "You're chasing people who are chasing people," and so nobody is sitting there waiting on you to catch them and pass them by.
But you know what you're doing though. We're not Ohio State, and we're not. You're doing what you can do.
Yeah.
Okay. You have an avenue, and you're going that avenue. You're not trying to say we got to raise all this. We have to do all this with NIL or everything else. I mean, I think it's a really smart play.
Yeah. Well, I would say the toughest few months that I've had on this job has been the last 6 or 7 months because it does feel like.
Wait a second. Time out. Say that again.
I know. Because we've been through some stuff now.
This has been the toughest 6 or 7 months. Wait a second. Would you like to retract that?
No, I wouldn't, because the things that happen with having to make a change at head coach or somebody makes a mistake, whether that's a coach or student athlete, those are things that are temporary. You can work through it. There's acute pain, but you move past it. As we went through those spring meetings with coaches, and everyone, you have a sympathetic heart to what their plight is and what they're going through and what their concern is, but you don't have the ability. You literally feel like you're putting lipstick on a bunch of different pigs, but you're not really like solving anybody's problem and spreading things out thinner than you would like. And this really takes a lot of your sports and says, hey, for the next couple of years, we've given you a much better situation to compete in. It's not going to be the end-all, be-all for everybody for all times, but this is a major thing that's going to really help you be able to compete. Now, let's take our entire team's effort and energy and go focus on how we make sure that these revenue sports have what they need.
3 guys before the game is brought to us by Comax Business Systems. You just heard Wren say he wanted to take care of the people that work for him.
Yeah.
If you're in a business, why don't you take care of the people that work for you? Wren did it with scholarships. You can do it with water. I mean, we're calling this I-12 water cooler, some are calling it revolutionary.
Is this better than carrying the big water jugs?
You carry those, number one, those things hurt your shoulders. Then you got plastic. That's a whole nother deal. The I-12 water cooler that Comax has right now, Wren, does both hot and cold water and ice. I mean, why not? Put it in your break room, put it on your floor, wherever your manufacturing is, wherever it might be. Put it in there. Contact ComaxWV.com. Ask them. But by the way, they also have, I don't know if you know this, every single kind of office equipment ever made in the world. Like if you name it, like what do you want? You want to curl paper clips? They got a machine to make a paper clip. Whatever you need.
Tony knows I'm a massive water consumer.
Big guy. I mean,
at least a gallon a day.
At least see that?
Wow.
At least a gallon a day.
Hydrated.
3 guys also brought to us by Jan Dills, attorneys at law. Wren has not taken advantage of their services. Although hydrated, to this point, you have not need veterans benefits or Social Security claims. They're based right here in the state of West Virginia and have clients in all 50 of our states. If you or someone that you know is going through that process or starting to go through that process of military benefits or Social Security claims, they happen to do it at a superb level, and they will guide you through the process. You're a big analytics guy. 88% of the people that file first time for Social Security get the no. Get these folks involved right from the beginning, and your percentages will go, and you don't pay a single penny until they get money for you. Visit
I don't think
Jan
they take
attorneys.
no for an answer, if
That's
I'm
a
not
correct
mistaken.
statement. Kind of like Wren, won't take no for an answer. When so the coaches sit down with you, you say, hey, in a perfect world, tell me what you need. And they say, I need this many more scholarships. Then months go by, and you come back to them, and you start making phone calls or call them into your office, and you say, okay, Steve Sabins, okay, Jen Greeny, Dan Stratford, who Hoppy, by the way, hired, Nikki Izzo Brown, and you say, this is what we're doing. What were the reactions?
Well, some of those conversations were had with their sport program administrators, but by and large, I think the number they were expecting we would come back with and the number that we come back with were drastically different. I don't think they were thinking they were going to get as many scholarships as what they're going to get. And so, excitement and enthusiasm. Now, I try to remind people all the time, if you took a head coach and you said, Tony, you're the head coach of badminton here, I want you to make me a list of everything you need to win a championship.
Right.
And I give you everything on that list, and I come back to you in a month and said, hey, Tony, you have everything you need to win a championship.
Need one more thing.
You didn't have another list. And so and that's just that's just coaches. You do this long enough, you know that. They're just wired to always be thinking about, how can I take this to the next level? What would make us better? And their jobs to go out and help people grow and develop and to win games. They have a fiduciary responsibility, but I don't think they take that near as seriously as they do those other responsibilities. And so
budget's a little over.
But they were very excited, very, very pleased. They all asked if they could write notes to our board and the university leadership, and so they're doing that. But they're very excited.
Think about this. Without this addition of scholarships, right now standing today, track and field, top 10 in the country, number 1 in the Mid-Atlantic region. Both women's soccer and men's soccer are both top 25, and they both have number 5 RPIs going into this weekend's action, right? And baseball, 2 super regionals. Now think about that. I mean, rifle wins a world's championship. I mean, think about that. That's what they're doing with what they have.
Yeah.
Volleyball's cooking right now.
Volleyball's starting to percolate. Jen's got those guys competing and percolating now, right?
They took a massive step forward. And as you know, I mean, volleyball, I tell people all the time, from top to bottom, volleyball is the deepest sport we have in the Big 12. Everybody is in that top 75.
Wow.
And so it is a tough league to compete in. There just literally is no give-me's on any night. You got. I mean, we Tony and I were at the match last night against Cincinnati, and they had a player that, I mean, I feel like it was like watching LeBron play in high school.
Dominant,
very dominant.
Yeah.
But Coach Green's done a great job.
Yeah.
Let's dive a little deeper on the baseball part of this, because I'm just amazed at what baseball, as Tony, you just said, what they've been able to do with the resources they're given. I don't just mean here, I mean nationally, what baseball programs have done over time, where you have significant contributors in your starting lineup are paying their own way to school. And for West Virginia now to be in the position it is with that stadium, the Performance Center, where you have what will soon be the Cy Young Award winner coming down here to work out because the pro facility doesn't have the same facilities as here, to now going back in and fully funding this. That's remarkable what baseball's been able to do from a program perspective, and this is kind of a cherry on top of that, isn't it?
It is, and I spoke to the baseball team a few days ago. The returners from last year got their super regional rings, and the athletic director got his as well. So,
why not? You were down there.
Yeah. And I told them, I said, you're walking into a program that has grown beyond anybody's wildest imagination. Like, I know when Randy got here and he and Oliver were out selling the vision, this big bold vision for the program when that TIF was put together to build the baseball park. I know they probably sold this kind of vision, but deep down inside, if you give them truth serum, did they really think that this program could be as consistently good as what it's been now for 3 or 4 years? Maybe they did, but I find that hard to believe. And so to see what that program is from a fan support standpoint and the way that the attendance has grown, from a competitive standpoint, from a facility and resource standpoint, is really incredible. And this scholarship piece ensures, I mean, it was a big concern of ours. If we don't find a way to get baseball more scholarships, they will not be able to sustain the trajectory that they're on. And so I would say baseball is one of the biggest winners here, for sure.
And the recruiting level that they have gone to is pretty remarkable. This just adds to that, gives you the resources to now go out and take that to an even higher level.
That's right. And by by giving them these scholarships, and they get a significant revenue share too. And they do recruit some West Virginia athletes, and some of those kids get some real NIL deals. But again, by giving them these scholarships, we will still try and go out and find NIL deals for some of their key players. But there's less pressure on that because everybody at least has their full cost of attendance covered, or the vast majority of them. So back to football, when you're trying to extend that cap and make sure that they're getting the best of the best, maybe that frees up a little more time for you to focus there. And so I don't want people to misread that and say, oh, well, they're not going to – we'll continue to work on all of these sports, but it relieves some pressure that you can spend more time and energy on the football side.
Go
ahead, sir.
What was the genesis of this concept? Was this you looked at what a couple other schools had done, or you talked to other ADs and people sort of knocked this around? What was your moment where you said, we can do this?
I think just knowing, but honestly, baseball was a big part of the conversation because there were some SEC schools that added significantly in scholarships to baseball, and there were some Big 12 schools that added some. And Arizona State added quite a few scholarships. And so you're really sitting around thinking, okay, with baseball, men and women's soccer, and we care about all those sports, but with those three sports, we have made such progress to become nationally competitive and nationally known and to build a reputation for being highly competitive. We do not want to lose that in this new world. It's important to West Virginians that we reflect the values of this state and that we reflect well on the people of this state. And so that really is where some of the conversation went. And as we look at 3 and 5 year plans, it really was, hey, we're going to spend a lot more time and effort trying to piecemeal things together when we could just make this scholarship change and really inject a vast amount of energy into those programs.
I want to go back to the resolution from the Board of Governors because at the time it's just like this general resolution, like we support athletics and going forward, and it looked sort of template-like, but that was gigantic.
Yeah.
And you, I know, made a presentation to the board. I don't know if you talked to members individually, but had you not gotten them to say, okay, we know what you're trying to do, we're with you, I don't think there would have been a lot of questions about this.
Yeah, I've been asked some, including by other athletic directors, which is part of the reason that resolution had some vagueness to it. Like, we feel like we have a really good long-term plan to build towards success, and we may talk about football in a minute. I know that we're not where we wanted to be this year, where Coach Rodriguez wants to be, but we feel like we have a very good long-term plan to ensure the competitiveness of our programs. Now, you're going to have down years. You're going to have years where there's injuries. You're going to have years where there was a recruiting miss. But over the long haul, we're building a foundation in a program and feel like we have a very well thought out plan. But we don't want everybody else in the world and all of our competitors to know our plan. If we had announced, let's just say a year ago, that we were going to add all these scholarships, I'm sure Virginia Tech and Pitt would have been saying, you know what West Virginia's getting ready to do? Like, we better get that done. And so you don't want to, just like a coach doesn't walk out there at their press conference and reveal, here's how we're going to try and beat this team. We're not trying to do that either. But I do think when you look at the build up, the multiple presentations that started with just me, then Huron comes in, then SLAM, our architects, come in, and they're doing these presentations. The board takes their resolution. We are working up a plan, and we've got a retreat coming up this fall with our board, and Huron's coming back in to just lead discussion around, hey, here's what we saw a year ago. Here's what we're seeing in the market today. Do we need to adjust this plan? What else needs to happen? And where do we see the future going? And so I would just tell people at home that there's a reason sometimes that we do the things that we do, but very much there's a plan that we're following.
You are feeling good about the future of football. What is it that makes you feel good as we get ready to ramp out into year 2?
Well, one is I know that we have all of the resources lined up and allocated as we move into year 2, and we had a good competitive pool of resources this last year. But when you hire coaches late, they miss that entire high school recruiting cycle. Okay, and then you look at the portal cycle, and they're way behind on it. And a lot of times, by the time, even though you're not supposed to be tampering and all this stuff,
that wouldn't happen.
By the time a kid goes into the portal, a lot of times they kind of have identified the place they're going, or the one or two places they're going. So you're behind. And then there's incredible pressure on what's left in there. They're getting bid up, supply and demand, and the supply is getting lower, especially when you get a late start. Then you add in that unregulated period where people are just dumping money at certain institutions into the system. That's supply and demand is going up. And so the roster that we have has a good amount of money in it, but we did not deploy every dollar that we had to go and get people who we didn't think were difference makers. And so we have some money left, some gas left in the tank.
Money in the mattress?
Yeah, some gas left in the tank in this year's rev share number. We have the full allotment for next year's rev share number, and we're currently working on securing above the cap NIL deals. And when you add those together, I think we will have a highly, highly competitive pool of funds to draw from. I think Coach Rodriguez and his staff are doing the things that you want a first-year coach to do, to set a culture, to set expectations, to build a foundation. We're still probably going to be looking for a good number of players, more than we would like to this upcoming year, but it won't be 80 players. It'll be less than that. And you'll know and have evaluated the players that you retained and that are in your program. So I think we'll be in much better shape. People want to always zoom and look at like what happened with Indiana when Cignetti went in there and was able to bring in 14 really good players with them, and they had some good players there and low expectations and a schedule that's set up, and he did a heck of a job. But if you look since 2023 at first-year coaches in power conference jobs, those have not been super successful seasons for the most part. But year 2, there has been a considerable jump. I mean, look at Arizona State; they were 3-9, they went 11-3. Look at Houston last year, and where I think they only won 4 games all year, and they already have won 4 this year. You just look at year 2. There's a big jump. Year 1, everybody's had a struggle. So I would just tell people at home. I understand it's frustrating. You can see the frustration in our coaches and student athletes as well. Nobody puts more into it than them. I want to win every game, but I feel really good that we are laying a foundation that is going to allow us to build something really special and to compete at a high level, and that we have the right people in place to do that.
So we've spent the bulk of the time talking about how it affects Olympic sports. That's a good spillover into how this helps football. Men's basketball in a similar boat here. They benefit from this as well. I think you're seeing that on the recruiting trail at this point. The guys that have signed are coming in for visits. That has gone to a new level, and basketball clearly has the resources behind it.
Yeah, in terms of just the scholarships helping them, men and women's basketball won't see like a big benefit from that, but they will see a benefit from what I mentioned earlier, and that is being able to take care of all these Olympic sports with scholarships allows you to focus more on growing those above cap NIL opportunities. We don't have our MAC staff and the GBE team out trying to raise money to fund scholarships for people. So now we can go out and raise money for hopefully improvements at Pushkar Stadium, which will drive revenue, and then growing those above the cap NIL opportunities, which is going to be the next differentiator. And so that's something that's going to be really, really important as we move forward for a lot of sports, but particularly football, men and women's basketball, for them to have those opportunities.
Do you think that with the way things have now been organized within football, when you go to quote-unquote market in this offseason, will you be in the top half among other Big 12 conference schools? Will you be in the top 5?
Definitely top half, and I would imagine we'll be right there around that 75th percentile, top 4 or 5. I think that's where we'll be. and I'm confident if we're there that we can put together a team that will be highly competitive. If you look at most of the teams in the league that have success, they are pretty old and experienced up front on both sides of the ball, particularly the offensive line. And so, that is an area where you're gonna go in the portal, try and get a lot better. But you're also, that there's going to be some high school recruitment that you have to develop. Our great offensive linemen, most people, Utah, I think somebody told me across their front five, they had an average of 36 starts at Utah, something like that.
Yep.
And so, you still need to grow and develop those. And so much of a team's offensive success starts right there on the offensive line. But I do think you'll see, both in terms of competitiveness in that two deep, but also depth will get a lot better. I mean, the scholarships for football, that's where you're going to get a lot of help with the scholarships is the depth. You're going to be able to recruit and retain better from a depth standpoint.
Hope Coliseum is now fully engaged. I drove by today, and they're taking off the big sign out in front of the road, making one bigger. Huh?
Yeah. It's that marquee is going to get considerably bigger, considerably more aesthetically pleasing. Not that the old one was bad, but the design on the new one's really nice. They're going to upgrade some signage at the primary gate there when you come in to the front of the Coliseum. And then we're going to be working on updating the lighting where we can get lighting that we can change colors and
top of the roof there.
We're having breast cancer awareness games. We can go pink, and it's 4th of July. We can go red, white, and blue, and so that'll be fun. But I just want to say again how grateful I am to Hope and their leadership team, including Morgan O'Brien, their CEO. That's a game changer for us, and it really, it sets the table because we got a very good market deal on that. So it sets the table as we go to market with other opportunities for people to see that benchmark and know if they want to co-brand with us, what that looks like from a financial commitment standpoint, but also an activation standpoint, how we will try to deploy the activation. I think Hope was really pleased with how that was rolled out and activated.
They activated well.
Yeah.
They activated well.
You put a band in a small space like Clark Mountaineer Club, and that was high energy.
Very nice.
I felt like I was somebody walking through that.
Boom, boom. Oh, yeah. You always are like a magician. You always have one more up your sleeve. So you did Hope Gas. You're doing this 140 additional scholarships.
Why does he do this all the time?
You can't ask a magician to reveal their tricks.
I'm not asking him about a trick.
I see where he overcommits you guys on stuff all the time. Like he's not confirmed.
That's his brand. Yeah. That's his brand. So he's going to try and get you to overcommit to something here too.
You got another one up your sleeve?
We are actively working on a couple of major gifts that I hope we can get announced for the end of the year, but that I'm confident that we'll get done, which will allow us to invest in some facility stuff that will be very exciting.
By this time next year, will it be blank at Mountaineer Field?
Is that an offer for Hoppy Kercheval Mountaineer Field?
If you do it for like $88, I mean, but
Hoppy, you've built you're like a media mogul here. You're like Rupert Murdoch of West Virginia.
Yeah, I'm really like Rupert Murdoch. I'm minor celebrity. The value of that is minimal. But look, I mean, it's logical to believe that naming. I mean, you have the baseball field is named, the Coliseum is named. You would look at Mountaineer Field, right?
Potentially, yeah. Again, it would have to be the right partner, somebody that we felt good about sharing our brand with, and the right financial investment. But that's definitely something that we would consider. I think Mountaineer Field, we would desire for that to always be part of that. Because I know that's a name that's endearing to people. But it's certainly something that we would consider in the right time and place. And listen, I get a lot of feedback on those things, and some people don't love it. But I think most people understand that in today's world, that expense line is growing. And so you have to grow that revenue line to keep up with it, because, if you don't, then you're going to campus and asking them for even more help, or which ends up being a burden to students, or you're just jacking up the cost of tickets and concessions and parking, which is a tax on your fans. And so it really is something that it really helps us to remain competitive without putting any undue burden on any one of our constituents.
I think you're at a perfect time right now. This doesn't happen without everyone being aligned. You've got administration, a.k.a. downtown. You've got the Board of Governors, and you've got you and the athletic department. This all doesn't work unless you've got those three entities tight together. And a lot of schools don't, right?
Yeah.
A lot of schools have these battles internally, don't want to do this, don't want to do that. And what happens? You just go down. So
and we have people who are invested in a variety of different ways, but I'll just use one example. Like Rusty Hudson, our board chair, Diversified Energy is a major sponsor, one of the biggest sponsors of WVU Athletics. And well before he was on the Board of Governors, Rusty would check in with me fairly routinely, just kind of wanting to know the status of different things in a supportive way, not in anything other than that. And so I think you just go down through that Board of Governors, and we have a group of people who understand the significance and importance of athletics. They're fans of the Mountaineers. They're people with deep connections to this state who understand how important the Mountaineer athletic programs are to the people of this state. And so I think that's what you want.
Right.
I tell colleagues around the country all the time, we have our own set of challenges at West Virginia and for WVU Athletics. One that I do not have is to sell people on the importance of the sports teams to our university and to our state. Like I've never once had to try to convince people of that. People inherently get it here.
To that end, this is probably more of a statement than it is a question, but to that end, it really is remarkable. And listen, I get the health of the football program is vital to the health of the athletic department. I think everybody understands that. But given where this new world was 3, 4, 5 years ago, and some of the thought of what that would do to Olympic sports and the death potentially of Olympic sports and what may be coming down and the lack of opportunities for women and others in this new world, it's really remarkable what we're talking about today and where this has gone compared to what was thought was happening in that world a couple years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I would say the threat of that is not gone, right? I mean, we've talked about it on this program before. If you don't get some kind of federal legislation and you don't go ahead and go down the path of a collective bargaining agreement, you're going to continue to get challenged in court, and you're going to continue to lose more often than not in a way that at some point, to compete in those revenue sports, it's going to come at the expense and sacrifice of Olympic sports. It's just which is why I always say this is not sustainable. An unrestricted, unregulated, free agency at all times market in sports is not sustainable for higher education institutions. But for us to be able to make the progress we have and to hold serve and to double down on our willingness and ability to compete in those sports at this juncture in time is remarkable. And hopefully it keeps us competitive until we figure out whatever way we're going to go in terms of establishing a system that is sustainable. But at some point we're going to have to either go down the employment road and collectively bargain, or figure out another mechanism to do that, because what we are doing right now isn't sustainable.
Before you go, by the way, you were totally on when Hoppy asked you to wear headsets before we started. You said, my mic etiquette is perfect. It wasn't off mic once.
It was very good at it.
Hoppy tried to put me in these obnoxious headsets.
Yeah,
I
was embarrassed. I apologize.
Obnoxious?
On behalf of 2 of the 3 guys, Wren, I apologize for Hoppy trying to make you put headsets on.
I was just trying to make the show better, but Wren was on mic. He was a pro.
Am I a 5-timer now? I don't know if you count the time I came on with President Benson.
Yeah, it counts.
No, that counts.
Yeah, you're in the seat.
Counts.
We count it as a seat sit.
Yeah.
Once you sit on the seat.
This might be a 5-timer.
Half a scholarship.
I want to show you something. You've been talking about Gold and Blue Enterprises, and I think we did something that was kind of historic earlier this week. We partnered with the United Way, Inside Touchdown Terrace, with Mountaineer coaches, with student athletes, with Gold and Blue Enterprises, with a couple of sponsors. Clear Mountain Bank, Hope Gas was there as well. Hey, if you would, Jake, show us some of those pictures, because Wren was at Big 12 meetings. So that was us, in case you don't ID. Go ahead, flip through some of those. So we had a big – look at the crowd.
Oh,
we
how
sold it
about
out.
that?
275
SRO.
people. 275 people. That was good. And
Standing room only there.
there we are with the folks from the United Way. Then we actually did 2 groups of 5 student athletes, and then we did some football players. We had Nick Cray and Curtis Jones in there later on. Then your coaches.
Oh.
They're happy. I mean, they're happy. They have more scholarships.
They were
right?
excellent,
They
all of them.
They have very good scholarships.
Good on them to all wear something different, so that I'll have 275 people in the crowd emailing asking where they can buy all of that
Yeah,
stuff.
well, of course,
Fine
it's
looking Phil was there.
Daniels. Yeah, Phil was there. So this that young lady there with her arm raised, she won one of the live auction items to come and listen, to sit in during Three Guys, like a studio audience.
How about that?
Yeah,
I think she actually wants a mic for that show. She was
she
excited
was
to come in
ready
here.
to go.
She's ready for a mic. She'll be fired up, ready to
We
go.
might be able to do that. We got an extra
we
one.
should do
Depends
that.
And
on
now,
if
if you
Hoppy's
would-
asking questions.
If you
or
wouldn't
not.
stop it there,
was this at the event here?
Well, this is a big story here,
another
Ren.
story. That's
what happened
We're out
was
trying to find revenue sources as well.
we
Yes.
bought the hog at the Preston County Livestock Show. Bought 'em.
Oh,
Bought
at the cake, buckwheat cake.
Buckwheat cake
Yeah.
thing. And then
We had someone there bidding for us.
yeah, and
Was this an educated person? You know, I grew up.
Dave
around
Thomas, the
4-H
president of
and-
Clear Mountain Bank, bid it for us.
He knows how to bid. He's a veteran.
He's
He's
a
veteran
guy.
of the Buckwheat Festival, yeah.
And so then we bought the pig.
But can he judge a hog? That's what I'm asking.
Well, it was
Anybody can
raised
bid.
well by the
Well, yeah, oh,
4-H'er.
yeah, he knows how to
It
do
was-
that. Yeah, very good.
He's a
Now,
Preston
if
County
you
guy.
want to be a proxy in the next year's Buckwheat Festival, we're happy to employ you as
Yeah,
well.
you come in.
So then we auctioned off the meat.
Yeah.
So Wilbur was his name, bless his heart. 38
It's a
pounds.
pretty common pig name, I think.
Yeah, it is. He wasn't a common pig, though. You know why? He gave his life to the United Way of Mon and Preston counties. 38 pounds of pork sausage, 14 pounds of bacon,
2 hams.
2 hams, pork steaks, chops, everything. There he is. Well, God, I hate to see him like that. But, that was a good memory. Anyway,
R.I.P.
sold that bad boy, auctioned that bad boy off for $2,300.
I just feel like people know where bacon and sausage comes up, but when you show the pig, it just
I
it's a
agree.
little sad. Like,
I agree.
Hey, Ren, you
Yeah.
ever watch Lion King? Circle of Life, baby.
I mean,
Yeah.
You got to go.
Look.
it reminds me.
Listen, we appreciate the sacrifice
yeah,
of the pig.
I'll tell you guys
very much so.
a story. My brother's ex-wife, she was, and she's still a great friend of the family, but she was from Tulsa, and we all grew up in the country. And so
She was a city slicker?
Tulsa's a city? Is that what you're saying
in
here?
Oklahoma it is.
Okay.
And so, she came in one summer, and my grandmother had a cute little calf out in the lot,
Sure.
and they went out there, and my grandmother named him Boudreaux, and she'd go out there and feed him every day, and so you could pet him,
Just a little calf.
yeah. And so fast forward, we came in for Thanksgiving. My grandmother made some chicken fried steak, and we were all eating it, and homegrown beef,
Really good.
unbelievable. It's completely different taste. And so my sister-in-law said, Granny Sue, this is some of the best beef I've ever had. This is incredible. And my granny said, Boudreaux tastes good, doesn't he?
Oh.
And she just started crying. She had no idea that what was happening there, that we were fattening up the old calf in
Yeah,
the
took
lot.
care of Boudreaux. She
Yeah.
gave the whole name during the dinner.
Yeah. So
This should be spreads on stats. Every day, there's roughly, 14,000 pigs are slaughtered every hour in the United States. That equates to about 336,000 pigs a day.
Yeah.
meanwhile, on the plains of central Oklahoma and Missouri and Texas, and wild hogs are running wild.
Right now?
Destroying people's property.
There's only one
you
man.
actually,
Tony.
Some of those people will hire people to come fly over their property in helicopters, just gunning them down. It's like machine gun.
This program's very aware of that.
You never did.
Very aware of that.
Do you not
exact
know the
move
story
right
about
there.
when I went boar hunting?
Oh, I forgot about that. Like when he killed a wild boar with
Well,
his hands in
let's again. There's some question on the how that came about. Thing might have already been dead. At the very least, it was sleeping.
Yes.
A lot of questions on the actual
all
procedure
I know
that took
is
place.
Here, I don't know.
Serious
His
questions.
fantasy land over there. I have some facts. Number one shot. Pig was dead. Number two,
it was dead. That's why one shot worked. But go ahead.
the pig was live, and have it on videotape. Thank you very much.
Charged at you? Did it?
No,
No.
it was
standing up.
But now, are we talking
hold
about
on.
a pig or a wild boar?
Wild boar.
Wild
It was
boar.
big. It was big. It was a big boar.
Yeah.
It wasn't charging you,
no,
but it was standing and walking around.
It was an assassination.
Was it standing and walking?
It was laying down.
Excuse me.
You heard me.
It was laying down.
You heard me.
Yeah, asleep and or
That
dead.
counts in hunting. You just ask a hunter. What do you have to go? Excuse me, could you walk around a little bit so I can have a tougher shot? Took care of them.
But those things like multiply very rapidly, and they destroy farmland and cropland.
Oh, they crushed. They root through the ground.
Yeah.
Texas, they
Well,
hate
they are
them.
menaces.
Yeah.
We're not disputing that. Just disputing.
Wilbur wasn't
his
like
account.
that. He was just up there in Preston County. That young man that raised that, did a wonderful job.
We take no joy in the butchering of the hog. We just, but
He helped
it's
people.
for a great
Doesn't
cause.
seem
It
like you
was a
take
great
any
cause.
solace in it either.
He helped. His life helped people.
Great cause.
It raised money for United Way of Mount and Preston County. Anyway,
Very thankful.
we did really well with that, and it was great to intertwine all of the entities together. And those are the kind of things you're trying to do. The gold and blue, get out there, right? And
Yeah, I'm
generate
really
dollars.
glad to see our student athletes doing that. And I will just say, Don Robinson, who we've hired in Gold and Blue, great member of the community, understands community engagement, lifelong West Virginian, lifelong Mountaineer fan, and is doing really unique and great things to grow our presence and also to grow revenues. So we're really pleased with what he's doing.
Each of those student athletes that spoke donated to the United Way.
Did they really?
Yes, they did. All
Each
of them.
one.
All of them, and they were really, really good.
They were great, and each of them during Tony's interview, Wren talked about the environment in West Virginia, and you had referenced that. And the environment in West Virginia, how they felt welcomed here, how they understand what the university means to the rest of the state. So that's a big
good.
part, man.
Yeah.
It's a
That
big
was
part
really
of being here.
It's
All right,
awesome.
you've spent enough of your precious time with us. We sincerely appreciate it. This is where we make this super interesting segue where I start talking about textual healing. The graphic goes up, and then, as a magician, Wren disappears. I mean,
It's gone.
it is
It's here, now it's gone.
So, all right, what are you doing for your off weekend? You doing anything fun?
I'm actually flying Friday to Texas. So the AD at the University of North Texas is a dear friend of mine, and he's receiving a Distinguished Alumni Award from Abilene Christian University Saturday morning. So I'm going to go. You have off from football. Brad knows this. What are you going to do? I'm going to go watch South Florida and the University of North Texas. One of the best group of 5 games of the year.
Bulls and Mean Green.
Yeah.
Well, that'd
That's
be
a
really
big one
good.
for the
South
Mean
Florida's
Green.
good.
Yeah, it
Green's
is.
undefeated, aren't they?
They are, and they got a ranked team coming in.
All right.
I saw a stat. They're like 0-29 against ranked teams away from home.
Okay.
Neutral or road. They're 2-2 all time at home against ranked teams.
Okay.
So it's a big one for them. They're expecting their first ever sellout in their new stadium.
Hayden
that's
Fry get
awesome.
one of those wins, you think?
Hayden Fry,
Yeah.
probably back in the
Probably.
day.
Probably in the day.
Yeah. Well, good deal.
Nice Hayden Fry reference.
Thank you.
Wren,
Coach and
thanks so
Tree.
much. All right,
Thank
let's
you.
hit
Thank you,
this.
Wren.
Watch him disappear. Yeah, watch Wren disappear. Ready? Wren is going to disappear.
5, 4, 3. There we go.
2, 1. Three Guys brought to us by Textual Healing's episode 800.com. You can check in with us. That number is 304-404-4083. 304-404-4083. Go to our website and you can get all the different kinds of stuff that we have on there, which includes our coffee, our popcorn, apparel, and as they just say, and stuff. Three Guys also brought to us by Tudor's Biscuit World. With over 70 locations, you are not far away at any time of the day from a Tudor's Biscuit World. Hoppy oftentimes stops and gets it, and they're having a good fall. This is a fun season for them as they transition into fall. We call it biscuit weather. Some people, gravy's a little bit more pronounced during that. You got to try these new sauces that are now available at Tudor's Biscuit World. The original barbecue is still there, so don't fret. But now, additional sweet teriyaki, Carolina Gold, and the honey sriracha. Start your day the homemade way a Tudor's biscuit, and they are darn fantastic. Three Guys also brought to us by Gomart. Saturday is coming up as we record on a Thursday. Triple rewards points every Saturday right now at Gomart. So if you have the app on your phone, triple your rewards points. It leads to faster savings, food, and fuel. Visit them throughout the state of West Virginia and beyond. It is go for good times, go for Gomart, and download the app.
That would be nice. So what are you doing on your off day?
Jarring peppers.
Oh, that's right. You got a big pepper thing coming up, right?
This is the one day of the year, pepper weekend. We'll do about between 75 to 100 jars of red hot peppers in sauce.
Now, where do you get the peppers?
Sometimes, most of the time from Ahia.
What do you mean? You go there, or they get them shipped in? What do you do?
There's a lot of peppers, so he coordinates it through somebody, and they say, yeah, we can get them for you, reds, hots, bring them. Yeah, so they'll wash them on Friday.
It's a 2-day thing.
They'll wash them on Friday and get them all ready, and then Saturday morning we'll go in there. About 10, 12 guys.
Really?
It's a day-long process. 10, 12 guys cut the peppers.
Yeah.
Then bring them into the house. And then they are fried, oil, garlic, basil, and then they are bottled in jars with the sauce. And the sauce is also going in there at the same time.
Oh, boy.
They're exceptional.
That's good.
Exceptional.
How hot? You said they're hot?
They're hot, but not stupid hot. Yeah. Not ghost pepper hot. Not like good. Over at B-Dubs where we had the Blazing Wing Challenge, and it was the combination of ghost, scorpion, and Carolina Reaper. Yeah. Not that hot, but these are really, really good.
Nice. That sounds like fun.
These are really, really good.
Yeah.
Textual Healing, not a ton of them, which kind of makes sense because we were just here and there's no game to be played. But I want to start off with this one.
Okay.
This one's a special one. As you'll see from my most recent post, my grandmother, Pauline Prutsock from Somersville, passed away at 101.
Wow.
Been tough. We had a great connection. Thanks for making life more enjoyable. She was born, if you want to show this picture here, Jake, born in 1924, Hoppy.
Oh.
One of 13 kids in Century, West Virginia. Her dad came through Ellis Island from Italy. He was 16 years old. She lived through a century of change with grace and grit. I loved her and always will. Rest easy, Grandma. See you on the other side. And there's our guy, Rick Shear.
Yeah. Can you imagine what she lived through? I mean, the changes that she saw
from
in
1924
lifetime?
to 2025.
Incredible.
Just amazing. Texter, Three Guys. Any concern about Rich Rodriguez's unfortunate travel struggles? Over the years, you guys mentioned how angry he was after a Rutgers game in the early 2000s. Now this 11 a.m. arrival after BYU. Well, here's the difference. So the Rutgers thing was an afternoon game, and they didn't make it back to Morgantown until Sunday afternoon.
That was an all-timer.
That was an all-timer. This was, you got on the plane, Lord knows what it was. I'll tell you exactly what it was. So the game got over at 2 in the morning here. We were on the bus, probably like 3:30. So this was much more reduced than the Rutgers thing where they had to go back to the hotel and sleep for the night. That was the ultimate.
After sitting on the plane for about 6 hours.
Before the pilots timed out.
Jeez.
Yeah, that wasn't good. Texter, Ty Edwards will be back next week for UCF. He is from Palatka, Florida, 2 hours from Orlando. He will be in. Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. Next texter says this: sweet and salty like hoppy. Signed Jeff from Sandyville. Ooh, have you tried those, good. Senator?
I have not. Would.
Reese's filled pretzels.
In.
I like the way you said hoppy is sweet and salty. That kind of describes you well.
Oh, thank you.
Hunter, Hillsboro, North Carolina. Hey, guys, both Khalil Wilkins and Scotty Fox being young, and this season being a throwaway. Do you think that Rich will go for a 50-50 split for the games remaining or continue to have Wilkins be the main guy?
Well, you would think he'll go with knowing Rich. I mean, Rich is not afraid to use the hook. I think he'll go with whoever he feels has had a good week of practice, and if that person is not performing in a way that he thinks he should be, the hook will come in, Brad, and somebody else will come in.
Yeah, I would think, though, if I'm picking one of those, I think Wilkins gets the first crack to go ahead and secure the bulk of those snaps. It just he fits what you're trying to do. You saw how many times he ran him
23.
at BYU. Yeah, so I would think that would be the primary hope. But, yeah, there's no doubt you're going to see both of those guys moving forward.
Again, I said a bunch of times, I mean, Rich is very, very atypical when it comes to quarterback usage. Like, the only thing that matters to him is that the person who is in there right now is giving him the best chance to win the game. So if Khalil Wilkins starts a game and Rich is watching and he doesn't think that he at that moment is giving him the best chance to win the game, he'll pull him. He won't even think twice about it. He doesn't care about feelings. He doesn't care about whatever you want to call it. He's like, my job is to win. Your job is to win. If you're not doing the best you can, I've got someone else that can win better than you at this moment. Again, it's not a permanent, it's not a tattoo. It's just at this moment, he'll make a change.
I am curious to see the improvement from Khalil now that he has started a game and got the majority of the snaps, now to a week off where you can examine that. You have more time for mental reps even than the physical, but been in the fire for longer, right? Has adapted that. The jump, you improved the most from week 1 to week 2. So from his first start to his second start, I'm interested to see how much of a jump that is going on the road here to UCF. But how about him? Assuming he gets the start next, his first 2 starts in his career both come on the road. Yeah. There can't be a lot of that has happened over time.
But he might go on the field at UCF and go, well, this ain't so bad after being at BYU.
Yeah, exactly. Not as loud. That's for sure. This next text, this is Rue from Buchanan. I am sending this from Not So Happy Valley. I wanted to respond to Hoppy about everything but the oink in a pig. Scrapple is, as I was told, literally everything in a pig except the oink. I have attached a picture. So just a little recipe for how you cook this. You slice it about 1/4 inch thick, fried in butter. Make a couple over easy eggs and place it on top. It is money. A little bi-week conversation. By the way, I'm in Happy Valley for a meeting. Yeah, so you do that, and they give you 2 stents as well, right on the side of the plate.
I got to tell you, I am a big scrapple guy.
Really?
Big pond husk.
First I've heard of this.
Well, where I grew up,
yeah,
this time of year, we didn't butcher, but people would butcher, and somebody would drop off some scrapple, or they call it, I think the German name is Panhaus, and it's chilled, you slice it, you fry it. It's really good.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah. Love it.
Wow.
You never had it?
Never have.
Brad?
Have not. You know me, and
you give it a try.
I'd eat that.
You'd eat that? I mean, it's sausage-like, okay?
Yeah. Have you eaten?
But you take. It's literally what's left after you butcher,
right?
And after everything else you can eat.
Okay.
Like
that's okay. You don't have to.
Well, I was going to say
I don't want to hear that part. Just want to know what it tastes like.
All right.
Have you ever?
And you had corn. You had cornmeal.
There now. Yeah. Well, I want it with the over easy eggs there, like Rue was talking about.
Okay.
I want it included in that.
All right. Okay.
Have you eaten haggis?
No, never had haggis. Have you?
No, I turned it down.
Well, did you?
Joan ate it.
I probably would turn it down too.
Yeah, Joan ate it. We were in
Scotland.
In Scotland. I said, no,
I mean, if you're there, you probably should give it a try because you're in Scotland.
No, I'm good. I said I'm fine.
Would you eat it? You ever had tripe?
Oh, crushed it.
What?
As a kid, my dad and I would crush it by the pound.
Are you kidding?
My mom would cook it, put it in sauce, and I crushed it as a kid.
Oh,
you talk about some weird looking stuff.
That's why I couldn't eat it.
The honeycomb inside the stomach.
Cannot. That's one of the few things.
Oh, dude, flourished. But I understand it's really not healthy for you at all. It really isn't. But I'm a little kid. Neither
is scrapple.
You know what else I used to eat a ton of?
Neither was the soda you were pounding in your dad's
store
either.
Really.
You know what I used to crush? Chicken stomachs.
Excuse me?
Gizzards.
Oh, gizzards.
Gizzards. I used to crush them.
Yeah.
Just absolutely devoured them.
Brad's getting a little nauseous over here.
3 guys brought to us by
like Reese's peanut butter cups at Gomart or something.
3 guys brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. I was talking to Nathan Adrian over at basketball practice today.
Oh.
Yeah, he's in the boat business out of state.
Yep.
Over in Maryland. And I said, busy time. And he goes, yeah, busy time. People bringing their boats in. So over on the other side, right, we're talking about Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans in the Valley. And if it's that time of the year for you to bring your boat in, get sales of availability if you want to catch a deal, but also the service aspect of it. Lou Wendell, 40 years in business, premier boat marina. They got the whole deal. Check them out at LouWendellMarineSales.com. That's LouWendellMarineSales.com. They sell the Avalon boats, manufactured 100% here in the United States of America. From the text line, I want to make a podcast episode recommendation to you and any listeners that are fellow nerds. Check out the 648th episode of Freakonomics called The Merger You Never Knew You Wanted. They discuss the state of college athletics and why things are the way they are from a different perspective. They also throw out some hypotheticals, some crazy, some not. Apparently, there's a part 2 coming. By the way, he adds P.S., I was watching the Singapore Grand Prix F1 event Sunday morning, and I saw a familiar business on the spoiler. You could show this. This is from Isaac Hadjar's car. So Tudor's Biscuit World also apparently now in the Singapore F1 race.
International.
I'm awaiting for confirmation that they were talking biscuits and not high-end watches. Probably so. Texter, since there's a bye week this week, basketball will be brought up. I thought I'd take a moment to focus on 13 November for a moment. Whatever happens for the remaining portion of the football season, it cannot be said enough that beating Pitt on 13 September was worth any heartache that would come for the rest of the year. I said it the week before the brawl last month. Mountaineer Nation will be there. Let's show up now in force for Ross Hodge in his first backyard brawl. He got to town when West Virginia played Pitt in baseball. He was present at the overtime football last month. He knows what this rivalry means. Aaron says, I suspect Clear Mountain Bank will still have their Beat Pitt sign out on Chestnut Ridge. Let's get out there en masse at the Coliseum and try to enjoy another win, hopefully while going 2-2 this fall. As always, beat Pitt, and let's go Mountaineers.
That'll be a fun game.
Yeah.
Pitt likes its team. I think we will like Ross Hodge's team. That'll be a good one. Good early
Brad,
season
we were
matchup.
hanging with Coach Hodge at the United Way event, and he likes his team. We had 2 of the players there. Very impressive young men.
Harlan Obioha and Trey Eaglestaff.
Yeah.
Both did a great job speaking. And we were watching a little bit this week. Harlan makes a difference inside. That's a big dude in there.
He's a big fella.
That's a big 7-footer in there that has good feet. Tony, good feet.
Yeah, I don't know if they're quite as. I mean, he's got Jimmy Bell-esque good feet. Jimmy had great feet.
What is he? Is he 6'9"?
No, he's
7'1".
7'1".
Is he 7'1"?
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
7+.
And
trending 7'1".
Harlan can. You said he can light it up.
No,
Trey. There's Trey in the middle right there. 6'5", 6'6", can score at all 3 levels.
You're not a small guy, Brad.
Yeah, you're like 6'2".
Yeah.
But they
I'd have trouble in the post against either one of those two.
Well, you had trouble in the post against Rebecca Lobo.
Well, she's pretty good.
I did.
Yeah. But they were just. It was nice meeting them, and they were just like mature young men, and just handled themselves really well.
Yeah.
So, and Hodge likes these guys. Yeah. I'm going to practice tomorrow.
I heard you were. That's awesome.
First time. Well, Coach was invited. I kind of invited myself.
You did.
It was embarrassing, and he said, "Come on in."
Yeah, you're going to get to go in there, which is great. Brad, are you doing spreads?
I've got a couple.
Oh, okay.
I'm just a couple. Just going to drip one out there on the UCF game, but I got another one that I'll just go ahead and.
So I check the numbers.
Yeah, he's checking the numbers.
We'll just go right to the numbers. Here comes the heater. Let's jump into
Spreads on stats. Kind of throwing you off here a little bit, aren't we? Did healing first. Got to get Wren out. Wren all right? You got him out all right?
Great. He knows the way, really.
Yeah, been here a lot. Spreads on Stats is brought to us by the Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. They will walk step by step with you in anything that you have to do when it comes to the world of accounting. You can have them do off-site accounting for your business. They can do that remotely. They can provide CFO services and a whole lot more. I'm smiling because I may have attacked CPA there at the event the other night.
Yes.
Are you guys embarrassed?
No, not embarrassed, but per usual, you make the attack, and then I've got to clean it up on the back end. As I was trying to walk through, I was jumped as I was walking through, 2-on-1, got double teamed.
What'd they say?
Got trapped in the corner with the ball, was looking for help there, got 2 accountants all up on me.
What'd they say?
Because of you.
What did they say?
Just attacking them unfairly. They were trying to give you an answer. You were bull rushing right through them, wouldn't allow them to answer.
All I asked was, in a moment of great electricity during the auction. Is this tax deductible? Guy wanted to go into his car, take out his tax manual, start thumbing through. Let's see, code 16.
Oh, you mean he wanted to do some research? He wanted to actually get it right?
It's not always a yes/no answer. They had to look at some things.
By the way, one of the guys you attacked is my accountant. I would like him to get it right. I don't want him to go, yeah, good enough. Yeah, that's probably fine. Yeah, that suit you got at Daniels, we can write that off.
I think I soothed it over. I think.
Thank you, Brad, for cleaning up his mess.
I don't know. It was a tough mess to clean up.
Sorry about that.
You're really sorry.
Not really. We raised a lot of money.
Yeah, it was
That was a fun event. It was a great event. Packed. Community really showed out for that.
Yeah.
It was great.
Props to the people who paid to be there and then bid and bought things, and I think everybody had fun.
Music.
Yeah.
Our guys, two sides were there again.
2 sides are there. House band, 2 sides.
United Way did a great job of organizing that. The committee was fantastic, and as we mentioned, Golden Blue Enterprises, that was awesome to have those athletes there from all the sports.
Yeah.
It shows, again, we've said this a bunch, guys. Football and basketball get so much of the attention. There are so many fantastic stories across all the sports, and there's so many worthwhile just interest stories from the backgrounds of these players and these athletes. It's fun to get a chance to talk to them.
100%. All right, what do you got? Spreads on stats.
Well, first, we kind of let this out a little bit. I was going to come in with the numbers on the pig, the actual numbers. This is pretty remarkable to me. Let's just break it down real quick. 2 packs of ribs.
Sure.
19 pork chops.
It's a lot of chops.
3 steaks.
Good.
3 shoulder roasts. 38 pounds of breakfast sausages.
It's a big breakfast.
Breakfast sausage. 2 15-pound hams and 14 pounds of bacon.
That's
all from the one pig.
That's
bless his heart.
He was fully committed.
That's why, and that is one of the reasons that pigs are a tremendous food resource. Is you use all the pig. There's a lot there.
A lot there, yeah.
Just going to drip a couple UCF numbers for us to ruminate on for another week. We'll do it more when we get into the preview episode, but starting to dive into their efforts a little bit here. This stat really jumped to me. So UCF is 50th nationally right now in EPA per play, expected points added per play. 50th nationally. Pretty good.
Yeah.
They're 10th in the Big 12. 10th in the Big 12, but 50th nationally. There's some teams in this league that are having some success. This will be the 4th top 50 offense West Virginia has played to this point in that category, EPA per play. 4th. How many games deep are we? This will be the 7th?
Can we get to like about 99 or 110?
That'd be nice, but you're not going to, because the next part of that stat is this. There are 4 more on the schedule. So West Virginia will play 8 of the top 10 in the Big 12 in terms of EPA per play this season. So we talked about the schedule lightening up, no Penn State on it, but you're still getting some teams that are producing. Again, those will normalize. We'll see how many finish inside the top 50 by the end of the season, but that one kind of jumped out to me.
But in this league, there might not be a national champion, but there is balance and quality in the league.
It just backs it up again. Yeah. There's just not, as Wren was talking about the volleyball league in the Big 12, football the same way. There's just not an obvious walk-in, okay, they're not very good.
Right.
They're not very good. One last note, though, on UCF, and this will be something to keep an eye on. Stay on EPA per rush. UCF's defense right now is having some overall success, but they have thus far struggled to stop the run. They're 118th nationally in EPA per rush, going against a West Virginia offense that's going to want to do what, Hop?
They're going to want to run.
It's going to want to run it. So if West Virginia is to go into this game, and listen, guys, I think there's no doubt, and you don't shy away from this. You looked at this schedule and said, all right, that's one. It's on the road. But you've got a UCF program that is also trying to find itself under Scott Frost version 2.0, just like Rich, a team that's trying to find its identity. It hasn't played an overly difficult schedule. I'll get into that next week. This is one where if you're West Virginia in a great situational spot, coming off a bye week when they've got to play another week, you've got to go into Orlando feeling like, all right, this is one. Let's play a little bit better and see if you can walk in there and get out of the bounce house with a win.
Agreed.
You can watch West Virginia's next opponent, the Bearcats, against Cincinnati this coming Saturday, and get a look, see what they got. They got some speed. They got some speed. Got some speed.
Yeah, they'll put guys in space. I mean, I know you hear that in modern football. They'll put guys in space. This West Virginia defense better find a way to find those guys better than it did against BYU, because they've got some slippery dudes, Hop.
All right.
What a show.
Yeah, it was good. Great. To appreciate Wren.
That's big news. That is huge news.
Yeah.
In WVU Athletics. That is that is a seminal moment.
I still feel like we underreported how big it is for baseball, because for
huge.
decades, I give baseball coaches a lot of credit for doing what they've done, West Virginia and otherwise, just in the industry, of doing what they do to compete while having 11.7 scholarships. That's been the national rule. That's been national for that industry and those coaches to do what they've done. What an uphill battle every year. And to now suddenly jump that, guys, to 28. So I know it helps a lot of different programs. That is absolutely enormous for a baseball program that is really cooking right now anyway. Without that.
Saban's giddy?
Has to be.
Yeah, should be.
Huge change.
Coach Stratford got to be giddy, soccer-wise.
Oh, my gosh.
He's been feeding thousands with a few fish and a couple loaves of bread.
Yeah.
As well.
That's great. It's a great move.
All right, three guys. We'll be back next week. We'll preview West Virginia and UCF. It won't be on Sunday, so
we're not here Sunday?
No. Why would we be here Sunday? No, we're good.
I don't always just show up.
You can come.
Subscribe or follow, then just shows up in
Subscribe
your
or
feed.
follow. You'll get a notification when it all happens. Special thanks to our producer, Mr. Jake. Three Guys brought to us by Gomart. Get the Gomart Rewards card. Download the app. Save on food and fuel. By Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. By Tudor's Biscuit World. I could take down 2 at this moment. Start your day the homemade way with a Tudor's Biscuit.
Sponsor of international racing.
Yes, they are.
Unconfirmed.
By Comex Business Systems. Go to the Singapore Tudors. By Comex Business Systems, keeping West
Franchises are
Virginia's
available.
business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. Hoppy's been in Singapore.
I have.
Three Guys brought to us by Jan Dills, attorneys at law. They won't take no for an answer. And by Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. All right. Have yourself a great bye week. West Virginia watches Cincinnati and UCF, and then they will collide next weekend. Thanks for being with us. Over and out.